Hey class, it's Dr. Pate. We're going to talk a little bit about the supply chain aspect of operations management. I want to first by taking a look at the SCORE model, Supply Chain Operations Reference Model. It discusses processes, metrics, and best practices. First part of the model is a plan. So we have demand, supply planning, and management. Source, identify, select, manage, and assess sources. Make, manage production, execution, testing, and packaging. Deliver, invoice, warehouse, transport, and install. And then we also have the return aspect of raw material that may happen at the sourcing aspect or the return of finished goods that happens after delivery. When thinking about the supply chain management's objective is to coordinate activities within the supply chain to maximize the supply chain's competitive advantage and benefits to the ultimate customer. As we know, we want to focus on source, make, deliver, return, and making that coordination between these parties within the supply chain as efficient as possible, starting with raw materials and ending with a satisfied customer. Strategic sourcing, management of supplier relationships to acquire goods and services. Think about your school. What are the sourcing relationships? Well, at a university or a college, we need textbook publishers to manage. We need computer manufacturers. We need faculty as a source. We need funds and grants in order to fund the place. All of the outside sources that are needed to keep the operations running is a job within the sourcing area. Oftentimes, companies will submit a request for proposal, a detailed packet describing what is to be proposed from a vendor. Vendor responds with a proposal about how they intend to meet those needs, and then we can start sending our orders to the vendor, or we can use what we call vendor managed inventory. Vendor managed inventory allows the supplier to manage an item or groups of items where the vendor replenishes inventory. They are able to see customer demand and fulfill it as they see fit. It all happens in real time. We're able to get to just-in-time fulfillment and hopefully reduce our holding costs. In the supply chain, we always try to minimize the bullwhip effect. This is when demand information is distorted as it travels from the supply chain. So customer demand to retailer to wholesaler to manufacturer to supplier. Ideally, the flow of materials through the supply chain will allow each member to give timely feedback and know what is to be expected. Problem: each group controls his or her part of the supply chain, so sometimes you have a false sense of what's really happening. For example, we may have sales promotions. If those sales promotions are created at the delivery aspect of the supply chain, and the manufacturer or the sourcer was not aware of them, they may think, if they are not communicated properly, that that increase in demand is going to be permanent. So they start building up and they start producing more, and then they send it down to the delivery aspect and they send it back. They don't need it. So we have a little bit of that whip effect where you throw out the whip and it takes a little bit of a delay coming back to you after your hand comes in. Same here, same in the supply chain. False orders. A lot of times people will order multiple items from a clothing store and try on a couple and decide to send the rest back. Well, that information is sent back immediately to the down the line, down the supply chain, and if it's not communicated properly that these, we've accounted for false orders, then they may think that that's the true demand. Full truckload incentive. Oftentimes in logistics, when independent trucking companies and independent truck drivers want to, let's say, go from Florida to New Jersey, well, they want to make the most of that trip. So there's an incentive to pack the truck and to make more stops and to service more customers since you're making the trip. So oftentimes manufacturers may have an incentive in order to keep the trucking company happy to provide a full truckload and to deliver more goods than are actually needed, and they have a misrepresentation of what the true demand is. That information flips back through the supply chain and everybody has a false sense of demand. Lot-based discounts. With lot-based discounts, think about, let's say, a vending business, okay? And if you were to buy, 5,000 pieces of bubble gum, Okay, often these large amounts are sold in lots, or lots of styrofoam cups if you were running a restaurant. Okay, where you can buy 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, and 20,000, and you get a discounted price as per piece as you go up in quantity. Well, as a lot based, I may only need 12,000, but in order to get the discount, I have to order 15,000. I may only need 16,000, but I don't want to order 15,000 in one. It would be more efficient per piece to order 20. Well, that impacts the perception of demand, since my true demand was only 16,000, but I ordered 20. So now, up and down the supply chain, all of the parties think that the true demand is really 20, and they have a false sense of what the actual demand is. Causes excessive inventory, quality issues, higher overhead, lost sales, and lower customer service. There are different types of ways for us to manage uncertainty with the supply chain. Inventory can be grouped into two categories: functional products and innovative products. Functional products are staples that people buy in a wide range of retail outlets, gas stations, grocery stores. You know that those are going to be a part of everyday life, and that the sale of them are going to be consistent. Innovative products such as fashionable clothes, personal computers, iPhones, iPads have a lifespan, much shorter lifespan, probably of a few months, maybe a year. They peak, they go down, the next one comes out, as opposed to functional products which remain steady. Each of these requires a different supply chain strategy. The root cause of a lot of supply chain problems is a mismatch between the type of product and the type of supply chain. The newness of innovative products sort of makes demand prediction unpredictable, unless we were able to have enough historical data for innovative products of similar liking to compare it and benchmark it against.